one is tighter.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more intimate.
Okay.
We're intimate with you. So all you people listening to us in your bed, we're right there with you.
Where's yours? Is yours on you or no?
Mine's right here.
Okay.
Put it in my little apple fritter.
Oh, don't bite it and chew it and swallow it by accident. Or we're making an impromptu trip to the friggin' ER. This is part of our podcast of the ER.
Internal ASMR.
Right?
See you guys in a few hours.
Yeah, like the next day. Forget that because it's done now.
No,
Everything's done now. So I guess we're starting our episode 12 podcast. I had to blink there for a second.
Oh, it is.
Yes, episode
is.
12.
Episode 12? Oh
Yes.
God. I have sugar all over me.
Yes, and the mosquitoes are out. This is great.
Mosquitoes. We're going to be all eaten alive by the time we get back. So this is...
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
To Oddly Juicy, where everything is...
And odd.
Yes. Juicy and odd.
Where everything is juicy and odd.
Yes.
So today... Natalie suggested we explore the topic of your other half, dating, why people aren't dating, why all my exes live in Texas like I'm George Strait.
Okay.
So
I guess get to it with your opening monologue.
Opening monologue. This will set the tone for you guys. Dating used to mean something cute. Now it means apps, awkward small talk, and pretending not to care when someone ghosts you after 3 days of voice notes.
Oh boy, here we go.
More and more people are choosing to be single. Not because they don't want love, but because dating feels like a full-time job with no benefits. So today we're asking the real questions. Why are people over dating? Why do exes always spin back or spin the block? And how do you even know if someone's into you anymore? So,
Good topics.
the first question for us. Why is it that people would rather be single than be out there dating?
It's easier to be single because there's no commitment, no strings attached. You don't have to answer to anybody. I've gotten that a lot from a lot of guys. I don't have to answer to anybody, tell them where I'm going, when I'm coming back, any of those things, right? Don't mind if I hit you because it's like a freaking mosquito. So I feel like a lot of people, and I think a lot of people have just been so involved into way too many toxic relationships that they're just tired of it all. And at a certain age, you're either, remember in our podcast, the one that we had the impromptu at the barbecue, it's like you're at an age and a point where in life you're kind of like, okay, you know what? If it's not going to happen, then whatever. I'm at the point, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm okay where I'm at. I'm comfortable where I'm at. If I'm single, I'm single. I don't want dick. I don't want pussy. I'm fine. Because I don't need anybody in my life that I now have to share my time, my compromising, my boundaries, my energy, my effort on. Right? And it's taxing for a lot of people. I think relationships can be like that. Even dating can be taxing because you're just going from like one thing to the next, thinking that it's better. Sometimes it's not. It's worse.
Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of it. It's like dating has turned into, I'm gonna say it.
Say it.
Dating has turned into such a toxic experience for most people.
Yeah.
Because the world is so full of options.
Yes.
That people aren't afraid to just drop what they have in favor of something else. Not necessarily better. Could be better, but it could also be terribly worse.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I think people have lost the value of fighting for one another. And not just the value of that, but choosing a partner for life, because there's so many options that they can choose from.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like, I mean, when looking at a relationship, when it's like, sure, you get to have sex with somebody you care about, sure, you get to go out, sure, you enjoy it, but if that means now you have to report every second of every day, you have to give briefings of your day, you have to make sure that they're always accounted for and feeling okay, so now you're not worried about yourself, you're worried about them too as a person. When if they have a family that you have to now placate and do your thing for, it just adds to your plate. And this goes to the whole our relationship's worth it anymore, because if everybody's doing their own thing and you come together, well, what's the benefit of having me or me having you or this or whatever? What's the benefit for me?
Right.
And so that's why you get a lot of people who are jumping from one relationship to another without really thinking about it, because they're just looking for who's the best option, who adds to my status, who gives me money, who does whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's less about love and more about what's there to benefit from. Hence, I think, what's his name? The King?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yeah, the King.
He was saying that relationships are just transactional now. So it's like, what can you do for me and how much can you do for me?
I hate
because
that.
I'll give you back.
Yeah, I hate that wording, but it's true. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It gets so bad that it's actually come down to that. It's like you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Well, and it's kind
scenario.
It's kind of funny because, like, when you come from a background, it's funny because I always talk to my brother about this. Like, I am very okay with how things are.
Right.
Like, I work, make money. I'm fine with all that. All I want is somebody at the end of the day to rub my back and say, "Oh, your day was rough, eh?"
Yeah.
Or "Poor baby." Right? Like that's it. I mean, that's all you really like. That's all we want, and it's an extreme. I mean, we say it as an extreme joke.
Yeah.
In terms of just like somebody who can be there for us, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like I can go out, I can have friends, I have all these avenues in my life full, and I enjoy it. And the relationship add is going to be the emotional support.
100%.
And that's not. And I've said this to people before, and they've been like, "Oh, so you want a mother?" And it's like, I don't want a mother. I want a partner.
That's right.
And I want somebody who appreciates me for me and does the things like rub my back and talk to me. And
But it's hard to see. This
resonate.
is the thing, is that we talked about this before. It's hard to find somebody that's on that same level as you.
Right.
These days,
Mhm.
because everyone's just here, there, everywhere, whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, they want the big thing I see is, and we could even relate it to your situation.
Mm-hmm.
They want everything, but they don't want to give anything.
But that's not. That's just stupid.
But you're saying this from a giver's perspective.
True. Yes.
You're saying it from somebody it's very easy to give. It's very easy to make food for. It's very easy to do things for somebody because
That's
you
right.
innately have it. But a lot of people in the world, they just want to take. They don't have the giving bone.
And that's the thing. That's the issue that I think people should have learned growing up. The give and take happens in many different forms, in many different relationships, whatever. You know what I mean? And again, not relationship wise, but like friendship wise. When you go to school, when you're working with other people, it's give and take. Everything is give and take in life.
Right.
Same thing should apply like in a relationship. You can't have one person, like as what I've said before, giving, one person taking. It's not fair for that person to keep doing that. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's tiring and it's taxing.
Well, and this is the problem. You get the person who's the taker and you get the person who's the giver. And it's not necessarily that I've learned that it's not necessarily that the taker doesn't have the capacity to give, but sometimes the giver is just so overwhelming in their ability to give, maybe not physically, but emotionally, that the taker doesn't know how to give and to reciprocate that. And that's not an excuse for them, but I've learned that you have to, as someone who finds it very easy to do things for people, to give my time, give my energy, help them out, see where they're lacking and support them in those areas. I find that very easy. And so what I've learned is you have to kind of coax it into a transactional case. And that's not to say like abusively make it transactional, but that's to say that if I do something nice for you, maybe don't like if I give you $1 million, because I know it would help a lot, maybe you don't have to give me $1 million back. But if you go out of your way to buy me coffee, or you say, "Oh, don't worry about it, just buy me a coffee."
Yeah.
So then I'm putting it back on you that your repayment for me helping you out so effortlessly, or supporting you or doing whatever, that repayment is a little gesture.
Yes.
It's kind of weird. It's like you're training somebody that it's back and forth. But I find that the weight, being someone who gives effortlessly, puts a weight on the person who doesn't give as easily. And so then it amounts and amounts and amounts, and then you get nothing from that person because they're in, "Oh, well, I'll just take I don't have to give because they come from such an effortless place. So I'll just take everything that they're willing to give, and then, like you were saying, you just end up burnt out and tired and being like, what the fuck? Why don't they care? Why don't they do things for me?
Yeah.
And then another thing goes into it too. It's like, I find that in this day and age, the expectation is that you go out on 2 good dates and then you're supposed to have sex, hook up, have sex, do some level of physicality, and I understand why people think that, but that's innately wrong. Like,
the same thing like when you go to a club and then like a guy buys you a drink, like they're like,
oh, now you have to.
Now you're like, now they're stuck to you because it's like, I bought you a drink, so guess what? At the end of the night, we're going home and go smash. It's like, or the car or wherever, and it's just like,
or even if we pull it back even more, because usually it's, oh, I bought you a drink or I bought you something. Now you gotta give me something back.
Right.
But even like, oh, I bought you a drink. Now you're my companion all night.
Yeah.
Nah, lads, I'm telling you, like, I get it. I get what you're thinking. But the nice relationships are the ones or the nice going out stories are the one where you go up, you introduce yourself, you talk to the girl, you buy her a drink, you ask for her Instagram, her number, whatever you rock, and she says no, and you go, no problem, and you move on, and then she comes back. That's when someone makes a choice that they're interested as well. That's way better than fucking harassing the shit out of a girl.
100%.
And it's classier and everything.
Yes.
So my whole point with this is, I find that society puts out this expectation, and other people are like, oh, well, we've been on 2 dates, so obviously I gotta suck his dick.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been out on 2 dates with him. Obviously I have to put out, or we have to put out. And I'm even gonna, like, I know I shouldn't specify, but I'll say it, that I feel like women have this pressure to have sex because they're on a ticking clock, and I get that. But it's fucking nice when you guys go out and you really work together and you go out on a lot of dates and you realize you're compatible and you almost become friends first.
Yeah.
And I know that it's romantic intention, so you can't really become true, unadulterated friends. But it's nice when you become friends close and realize that this is a person that I will stand beside and that I value. And then you let the physical intimacy come.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not, and it doesn't have to take 10 years.
Right.
Like, don't get it twisted, people. But it doesn't have to be the second date. It could be the 4th date. It could be the 10th date. Mm-hmm. It could be when you guys put a label on it. Like, it's nice. It's nice to be a little bit harder to get to. Mm-hmm. And it's and both on the men and the women's side. Like, if you make somebody chase in a positive sense, that is a good thing. If instead of wearing the tiny little short dress where your ass cheeks fall out and you have all the tight curves and everything, instead of wearing that, maybe wearing the dress that's a little bit lower on the knee, a little bit looser, more flowy, like maybe wearing something that hides your shape a little bit, hides the whole package.
So it's a little bit of a mystery type
of thing?
Yeah.
Right. Like, nobody cares to unwrap that. Like, nobody cares about the big present where they're like, oh, that's obviously a guitar.
Right.
They're like, oh, I'll unwrap that after. What's this present that's in a mysterious big box or in this mysterious package? And all this to say that I think that relationships have become so physicality, intimacy forward that people do that and forget that the whole point of a relationship is you're finding a partner. You're finding a life partner that you can bond with and support and go through the highs and lows of life and have children with. I mean, that's the purpose, is to find a bond, a unity that you can go against all odds with.
That's right.
Have your sex, do your thing, but like, just make sure that you're like, okay, this is a girl that I'm interested in emotionally, and I'm not gonna just put it to physical first, or this is a girl that I'm interested in physically, so I'm gonna make sure that I tell her, I have no interest in pursuing anything, but I definitely want to have sex with you.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. All right, let me pull out my handy dandy question list. So, do exes come back, and why?
Yes.
That's the next area. The answer to that is
yes.
Yes, they do.
1,000%.
Now, the secondary point to this, I'm going to ask 2 questions, and then we can expand on them. So, the first question I wrote down, because do exes come back and why, is so general, and so I wanted to guide it a little bit into specifics. The first sub question: is it closure, boredom, loneliness, or ego?
All of the above? Is there an all of the above checkmark box?
You can definitely hit all of the above.
Definitely. It definitely is.
It's kind of interesting when you unpack that, because you can easily put it to, you can put it to closure, you can put it to boredom, you can put it to loneliness, but ego is a really, really interesting one, because it's like, oh, they're not coming back because they love me and they realize they messed up. They're coming back because, oh, I left them and I told them that this isn't for me, this relationship isn't for me, and I'm moving on, and now their ego is bruised because they're like, oh, they don't need me. Oh, I'm not somebody that they're like struggling without, whereas I'm maybe struggling without, right? Yeah, ego is something interesting that people overlook, and especially when those exes come back, I need you to have a strong backbone and say, we're done.
Yeah. I'm bad at that.
I love you, but go fuck yourself.
I'm bad at that, and you know that.
Well, but it's hard. Like, it's hard.
It is. It's hard.
It's fucking hard.
Especially when the other person has been so involved and cared so much and put your heart and soul into something that you really wanted to work out, regardless of how it ended. Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is it. I mean, like, everybody will say the same issue, even the hard asses. I mean, even if you go ask the fucking Andrew Tates and all that of the world who put on this masculine persona, they'll all tell you that a girl who they left who they really, really loved and care about, that's fucking hard.
Yeah.
And to have them come back, there is part of you that goes, maybe it'll work this time. I always get this, talk to guys about this, because it seems to be a universal guy thing, on your true first love and how it's made an impact on you. And I always ask them when guys have these deep moments when they're drinking or whatever, I always say to them, I go, if she was here today and she wanted to go get a cup of coffee, I won't fault you for going for a cup of coffee, but if she wanted to get back together, would you do it? And the only answer there is fuck no. Absolutely not.
Is that true, people? Is that absolutely true?
I'll caveat myself. I will. The reason I'll caveat myself and say, yes, I do believe that love can overcome, and there are circumstances where the person coming back and having a conversation is meant to be. I do love, the Notebook, fighting for each other till the very end. But I will say, if you left the love in the past, the love is in the past. So you can't pick up the relationship where you left off. You now have to start a new relationship
with the same person.
It's kind of a trick answer.
Okay.
So if you sit down with your ex, your first love, whatever, and they're talking about, oh, I love you so much, I want to get back together. No, you're not getting back together.
Okay.
But let's start as friends first.
Okay, and see.
Well, not even friends, because friends can be labeled, and then you take advantage of the closeness.
Yes.
But why don't we go out to dinner?
Yes.
Why don't we learn who each other are now in this different phase of life? And also, I know you wackos out there thinking, oh, it's been 3 months. No. If you want to get back with an ex, it's got to be at least half of the relationship.
Okay.
Half of the relationship and then if it's under a year, plus a year.
Okay.
I'm gonna baseline it that way. So if you were together 6 months and you love them so much, you're waiting a year and 3 months, because people don't fucking change in a year.
No,
people don't change in a year. They really, really need to go and be alone and figure shit out. And I've seen so many friends, siblings, just people in general, where they fucking go back so soon and they go, wow, this person hasn't changed at all. I thought they changed because they changed their appearance, but they haven't changed at all. And it's like, well, fuck no. It takes forever for people to change.
Yeah, because you didn't give it enough time for them to realize or whatever.
Well, it just grow as a person.
Yeah.
Usually that's the time they need. I mean, I remember having this conversation with my sister, right? Like she was wanted to go back with the guy, and she ultimately ended up going back with her ex. But I said to her, I said, this is not. You guys have not had enough time apart, and I can't speak for you, because my little sister. I can't speak for you because you're a female and I'm a male, but I could fucking speak for him, and I would not have smartened up in 5 months. I would not. You need at least a year and a half, 2 years, to really reset things and change.
Yeah.
And be better as an individual, or specifically a man.
Well, this is interesting that we're talking about this, because the person that I was with last year, has been creeping up every once in a while, thinking and introducing me as their woman. And I'm like, yo, you need to stop. I think we've talked about this already on the podcast. I was like, you need to stop because you can't be saying things that aren't true.
Right.
I'm not your woman. And I'm like, and they're like, well, why not? And I said, well, do you remember what happened last year? And they're like, I thought we got over that. No, we really didn't, because the way that you went out was just like, you left me hanging. So I'm not going to hang on to a relationship that's not there.
Right.
You're not there. You're not telling me anything. We're not communicating like we did. You just kind of like up and left. And here you are telling people all of a sudden, I'm your woman. What the fuck? Are you okay?
Yeah. I mean, it's all by design. It's
Well, that's a messed up design.
No, but I see this all the time. It's all access, right? I see guys who think, oh well, I dated her for 2 years. You know, I can show up at her apartment. I can call her out of the blue. It's a lack of respect, really, is what it is.
100%.
They're just looking for that quick, easy access. I know that I know a couple of guys that I'm friends with or mutuals with, who telling me their relationship stories. Like we'll be out drinking. We'll go out Saturday night or whatever, and they'll strike out at the bar and then call their ex and be like, hey, you up?
Booty call.
Right, but then, and the worst part is they know that they have this girl. They know that she loves him and wants him to change, and they broke up for whatever reason, but she'll be like, come over. And whether they have sex or don't have sex, whatever.
I mean, to each their own. Don't get me wrong. To each their own and what their circumstances.
Of course.
We're all adults. We should know what we want and what we don't want and what's good for us and what isn't. But at the end of the day, if that isn't what you're really looking for, then you really shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
If you're trying to stick to changing over things, being a new person, going into a new relationship, not being the person that you were or doing the things that you were doing previously, then maybe some of the things that are toxic, that are toxic and not good for you, are things that you need to stop. Although, yes, we've talked about it's very hard to do that because people are so accustomed to knowing and going back to things that they know because it's easy.
Right.
What the circumstance. Yes, being comfortable. What the circumstances. There's not going to be any shit or any blah 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 or whatever. It's everything's very cut and dry. But at the same time, it doesn't help you growing if you are saying to people that you are looking for an actual relationship, like a serious relationship, because you're really, at the end of the day, you're basically hindering yourself at the end of the day.
You are.
Right?
And the problem with having ties, there's a universal issue with people, and this isn't just relationships, but this is friendships, this is coworkers, this is everybody. Unfortunately, people expect you to always be where you are. And that just isn't true about a human experience or a human existence. You are going to grow as a person. You are going to change as a person. And a big issue with going back to your ex from a year ago, 2 years ago, is that you've made all this growth and you are now a completely different person. And that ex is still expecting you to be where you were.
Can't be.
And in turn is chaining you back to that. I mean, there was a big, I love my high school friends and I have a few around still, but a big thing that I realized why people don't stay friends with their high school friends is because you grow so immensely from high school to college to university or wherever you go, into the workforce, into being an adult, into being a human. You grow so exponentially. And if that person is always like, oh, I remember when you did this in high school, well, now they're tethering you back to high school when you've made so much progress.
Yeah, it's setting you back. I mean, good. It's good to go back in memory lane, which is great. But to be like, oh, do you remember you used to be like this? That was the old Nason. That was the old Nat. This isn't who it is now. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, you're kind of like a bore, or they'll say something about your character the way it is now. But
the old Nathalie would always take 5 shots with us. And you're like, okay, well, now I have kids.
Yeah, like I've had that. I've had people come to me and be like, oh, you go, like, as an example, you go out, you don't really drink much anymore? No. But why? What's the point of going out and not having a drink? Well, guess what? What do DDs do? They don't go out and fucking drink. Like, that's the whole point. If I don't want to go out and drink and I've already had my mind set on not doing certain things, I'm not going to go do it because 10 people have told me, or people that I've run into in the past have said, oh, well, you used to drink. How come I don't see a drink in your hand? You're drinking water. What's all that? No, I don't give a fuck what anybody says,
Mm-hmm.
because it's what I'm choosing to do. It's what I'm choosing to the path that I'm choosing to stay on, or you know what I mean, like swerve every once in a while, but I'm choosing to not go and drink like I used to do before. Not that I was excessive before, guys, but like in general, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And it's funny how people connotate those things, like
Yeah.
drinking with fun
yeah,
and drinking with enjoying yourself, having a good night out, whatever. That I think that's a very big growth experience. Not specifically just drinking, but those are those growth moments where you're like, that's not me anymore. Like, yeah, I had fun in university drinking and doing whatever and hooking up with girls and doing whatever, but now it's like, oh hey Nason, let's go out clubbing, it's Friday night. And it's like, I don't want to go to the club. Oh, but we can drink so much and we can hook up with girls, like let's do it. And it's like, I don't want to do that.
yeah.
But it's so fun.
That's right.
And then you hit them with, I don't want to have fun.
That's right.
I want to be great.
Yeah. That's
So-
why with a lot of my people, a lot of them have turned over leaves and realized, okay, they've gone out a couple of times. We've gone out a couple of times as a group setting. And then they've realized, okay, that's not for me. That's not my scene
Yeah.
anymore. And I respect that.
That's
I
great.
totally respect that. And that's the thing, is like, I think people need to learn how to go back to basics and respect people's boundaries, respect what people say. And if they're going to say, no, I don't want to have a drink, no, I don't feel like going out on a Friday night, okay, that's fine. Not a problem. I will still send my friends flyers. I'll still send my friends jams that are happening, but I'm not going to force you to go. If you don't want to come, I don't really,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's cool.
Exactly. And this is a really important, not just on taking it back to exes and stuff, but not just on that front, exes and friends and whatever, but people grow throughout your life. And you could say it as, oh, every 7 years people change, oh, every 4 years, whatever timeline. People are always changing throughout life. And I remember reading this beautiful story about it's the grandson of a grandpa. The grandson's talking to his grandpa and he's like, hey, I don't even know my girlfriend anymore. Like, we've been together 4 years and now she's just so different. She's doing everything not like how she used to be, but how she is now. And like, it's just so strange. Like, I don't even know who this person is anymore. And the grandpa looks at his grandson and he goes, your grandma has always been changing as a woman to the point where I don't feel like I feel like I've dated 7, 10 or whatever his number was, 8 very different women throughout her whole life. And you have to give people the ability to change and accept them as they change, because you can't expect people to be where they are, sure. And as they grow, you can accept that you're on different paths. I mean, like, I've had experiences where I'm like, oh, we were very close together, but now we've worked and we've built, and I'm on this path and you're on this path.
Right.
And it's okay to call it there. But at the same time, having allowance for your friends, for your partner, for your family to grow as people is very important, because you'll have a much more satisfying life when you don't put boundaries on people and don't put expectations in that regard, and allow people to like I still expect you to be Natalie.
Yeah.
But if you change your hair and you decide, I'm not going to drink anymore, and I don't want to go to the Sunday day jams, they're not my thing anymore. Like, making changes like that isn't a bad thing. If that's what you want to do, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And if I want to hang out with you on a Sunday, well, I'm not going to hang out with you at the day jam.
Right.
Maybe I'll go for a walk, go for a picnic,
Go for a walk.
start a podcast, do something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Keyword is go for a walk. That's on that one. So now we have okay. We'll do this one.
Okay.
Because I think this is very much on your I want to hear it list, or I want to talk about it list. So the next question we'll go into is, how do you know your other half is really interested in you? And this walk thing is kind of funny. So the 2 sub questions I have to this point to target this more is, what are the green flags that actually matter? And what's the difference between interest and convenience? Like, what does that look like?
So I know somebody's interested in me when they take time out of their day, at any point of the day.
So
Everybody can be busy. You could be as busy as hell, but you're taking point out of your day to just send a quick text, a good morning. I've told you guys before, I love good morning text. I love have a good night text. That's my love language, right? So I'm used to that type of love language. I know when somebody's interested when they want to plan to do something, not necessarily plan to, okay, so what are we going to do? I don't know. What are we going to do? Like, it's not like that. It's, you're planning, and then there are times when you're planning, but you don't have an actual plan of what to do. It's just being with that person because you're just wanting to spend time with that person. Right. So those things are how I see people interested in me. Also just kind of like subtle touches. That is a big thing for me too. Like I've said before, I shouldn't say used to. I like the holding hands. I like the PDA, not over the top, but I like the PDA because it shows the again. Intimacy. Yes, because it shows again, like I've said before, that you're interested, that you want me, that you need, like you need me like in your life. Yeah, because I when I don't get that, I feel like just friends, I guess. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like being able to like carry on a conversation, because there are lots of times when it's just like silence. I ride in silence, and this person is just like, "You're so quiet." Well, so are you. And then they'll be like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna turn on the music now," and I'm like, "Great." Or it's like the dry conversations. How was your day? Today was just one before we got together. So, how was work? Great. Okay, so nothing happened? No, it was just another busy day at blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yep, and then they said to me, well, I'm just going to, so I'm like, we're talking? Like, what's happening here? Oh, I'm just going to wait till you have something to say, until you have a conversation, until we have a conversation. Help me out there, buddy. Throw me a bone. I don't know. Like, things like this, if you're interested in somebody, should not feel like eggshells, should not feel like you have nothing in common to talk about. You have nothing to really say. The same words coming out of your mouth. It's like saying the same thing like we talked about before. How's the sky? Like, how's the weather? No, there should be conversations about anything. You should be able to freely talk about anything without judgment, without somebody saying and commenting about, okay, well, you're twirling your hair. Why are you twirling your hair all of a sudden? Why is your head, like in another podcast, why is your head like this when you're talking? Okay, so what? Is there something wrong with your neck? Why you gotta say that? If my head just happens to just go like this, why do you have to like point it out?
I don't know.
Like, you know what I mean? Like things like small little things don't always need to be vocalized.
Yeah. I just what
like I find like there's no interest. This is why I keep saying, I'm like, I don't feel like you're interested in me at all.
This goes into the second part where it's like, is it interest or is it convenience?
I think it's convenience.
Well, but also, I mean, you have to. This is where love language kind of and I had another question there that I skipped because I didn't feel it was relevant. But this is where love language is a dynamic, and your love language and your partner's love language is very, very important, because if you're used to giving love through through physical affection and quality time, but their love language is receiving gifts and acts of service, you may be doing a lot for them, but to them that's not anywhere on their love language, and so thus they don't feel that you're invested in them, that you actually care about them. So there's this weird disconnect that happens. So in your case, Mr. Sir there could be expecting a lot less from you, and there's something to say about someone who has expectations for you or is curious about everything, has a care for you. I mean, I don't agree with this statement. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
But if you're interested in somebody, you're dating them. So why the fuck are you dating somebody if you're not interested, and that person is saying, that other person that you're supposedly in this relationship is telling you, this isn't working. Why do you keep trying to hang on to something that clearly in your head is probably exactly what I'm thinking, but I don't get it.
But I don't. I think this just comes down to being selfish. I think that he doesn't want to be alone, and you were somebody who put a glimmer in his eye, or he had, or maybe he does have a lot of interest towards you, but it manifests itself in strange ways, right?
Okay, fine, fair enough. But remember, I told you before, and I've said this before in a conversation. It was always like, oh, it's always not. All I hear from you all the time is complaining, complaining, complaining. It's what I want, I want, I want. What about what I want? Okay, so then I ask, what is it that you want? And there's really no answer. So I'm like, okay. First off, I said to them, it's not about what I want. It's about how I'm feeling. Mm-hmm. What I'm basically telling you is what I'm feeling. What I crave as a woman. As a woman, we crave intimacy. We crave that touch because that's just how we're nurturing. We're nurturing people. So we want that physicality. That's important to us to help grow and like explore other whatever, feelings or whatever, you know what I mean? And even like the smallest touch could mean so much to somebody. But you're not, when you're fucking just sitting there and you're driving, okay, fine, you're driving, but you can put your hand like on my hand, or you could put your hand wherever, and like I can do the same. But it's just like when I try to do small things, I get the pushback sometimes. So then now I jump back because it's like, why am I going to go and do that now? We've had this conversation many times.
Yeah, and it's creating trauma. I mean, if every time you go for an intimate moment, if every time you reach for his hand and he jumps and he goes, "Why are you doing that?" Well, now you're like, "Oh, I'm not going to do that because I'm not. I don't want to cause you to have that reaction." Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is where the intricacies of love and relationships really come into play, because if he's not doing anything to make it better and you try to make it better but it doesn't work, or he isn't responsive to it, well, then he's shut away, and then it gets down to ultimately it results in a selfishness, because if you try and change things, you try to make it better, you try to say, these are the things you're talking about, and he says, "Oh, why are you always complaining? Why is it always about you? When is it ever about me?" And you say, "Well, okay, then what about you?" And he's not responsive to that. He doesn't take that opportunity to share. Well, now it turns into, what is he actually looking for from the relationship? Because maybe he's not that invested in it, and maybe he's dealing with all of it just so that he can get, some quality intimacy.
Whatever that is. Right. How many times have I told you there is no quality?
Well, and then here's it. But this is where it turns into another thing. Maybe he just wants a woman to sit around and listen to him talk about nonsense. I know lots of old guys who can't get it up. Who can't get it up, who have no interest in women sexually. They just want to go out for dinner and talk. I know a girl, a very good friend of mine, who she was, doing that through university. She was going out with these old guys, and she said, there's always the guys who are like, "Oh, I'll take some Blue Chew and go to town." But she always said, she was like, there would be the guys that they would go out for dinner and they would always bring her flowers. Mm-hmm. They'd bring her flowers. They'd bring her, whatever they were paying her. They'd give her money. They'd give her like a nice purse or a bag or something, or perfume or whatever they felt inclined, or ring, anything that they felt inclined to give her. Mm-hmm. And they would just sit down at dinner, and they would sit down there for 3 hours. Okay. And it would be 3 hours of pleasantries for the first bit. They'd have their food, and then as the digestives came out and they were sitting there, then it turned into them talking about their dead wife, or they would talk about the moments that they never took, the opportunities they didn't see. Like, right. They would just talk about life, and they would rant, and she would give her input, but she was very she's a fucking smart girl. She knows how to play the conversation, and so she would always add where she felt applicable, but a lot of it was just them exploring their own depth. It's essentially like a therapist without being a therapist.
But see, that's fine, because that's the dynamics, and that was how it was set out from whatever time they decided that this is how it's going to be.
This is the arrangement,
or whatever, But when you're dealing with somebody who's actually wanting a relationship, as they quote unquote said, because I asked, what is it that you're wanting from us? I want a relationship. Okay, well, relationships entail A, B, C, and A, B, C aren't always happening. So you can't tell me that you want a relationship if we ain't fucking doing relationship
But
shit.
this is your observation.
That's right.
And he could be purely putting that label down only to have the control of a relationship, but never any intention of putting the effort in. He doesn't sound like somebody who wants to put effort in. It sounds like somebody who wants you at his convenience.
Right.
He wants to be able to say, I'm bored tonight, I want you to come.
Right.
This is happening, I want you to come. And I love having that power with people. I love being able to call them and be like, hey, I want to go out for drinks.
Right.
Hey, I want to go out for dinner. Hey, I want to do this. Hey, are you around? And go for coffee or whatever. I love being able to do that because it's nice when you don't have something going on to go see somebody.
Yeah.
But you can't call yourself a relationship and then show up. Unless that's the arrangement. But then I would say that the woman has to be benefiting from somewhere. Like I'll come see you whenever I want to come see you, but your bills are paid and you're
Right.
and you have some pocket money,
Yeah.
and if we have a kid together, the kid's taken care of. Like, then there has to be some level of an arrangement going on.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, relationships have really opened my eyes to how little or how much people expect from their partners. A lot of people really don't need much. Like, there's a lot of people who just want somebody to love.
Yeah.
They want somebody to pour into. They want somebody to come home to. Like, that's all they want. And then you have some people who are like, oh, my happiness is based on whether I'm in a relationship or not. And having a partner is everything to them.
Yeah.
That's all that they hinge on. And I think everybody has their natural fit that they form to. I mean, I'll say my point just because you said where interest is indicated. I've never felt it in physicality or quality time, of course, but I've always felt it in the bond that's formed. So the things that happen between the loud moments, between the romantic moments, between the fights, between the physical intimacy. It's the glimpse that you make to one another when somebody says something and you have an inside joke about it. Like, I've always noticed it in the subtle indications where it's like, oh, I know this girl's got my back. I know this girl trusts me. I know this girl is beside me.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because that's not something that you can fake as easy as quality time or gift giving or anything like that.
Yeah.
But the problem with that, though, is you're expecting a very true, very very rare type of intimacy and very, very rare type of love. And that's great, but very quickly you find out, oh, people are good at imitating that, or not imitating that, but holding it up. And then you get to a certain point and you're like, oh, this was held up. This is not something that's innately part of them or innately part of our bond.
Yeah.
This is something that they felt, and now as whatever is dwindled, things have gotten hard, whatever, it's gone. So it's all kind of interesting how people use relationships, whether it's as a personal crutch because of their sadness in their heart, or they lack personal companionship through friends and whatnot, or they're just looking for an itch to scratch.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yep.
Okay. Do you think that this is all... Is it all resulting in your glorious unity with your person? Or do you think that's just like a hopeful gesture or a hopeful thought?
What?
That just going through these things with people, going through these interactions, suffering, going through relationships that work and then don't work or try your patience or challenge you, is this that you're moving through this to find the perfect person on the pathway? Or is this a character test?
No, I think it is trying to find that person within the weeds. I think that's what it is. I think, again, in every relationship, whatever that is, platonic or not, you're finding what your tolerances are. If your boundaries have changed, or if they've hardened, or if they've become loosey-goosey. So I think that it's more a test of how I'm feeling and where I'm navigating and like where I want to be and who I want to be with,
Right.
and what I'm gonna take and what I'm not. Because I tell you, like I like this person, but I just don't. I don't know.
At the end of the day, it ain't worth it.
Yeah, it really isn't.
And that's it. That's
Yep.
all I have on my list.
Okay.
So I guess, what's the worst reason? You guys can DM us.
Yes.
What's the worst reason an ex ever came back to your life, or what's the best?
Mm.
And then we have some little comment starters.
Mm.
Do you believe in giving exes another chance? What's your number one reason for staying single right now? Is love language compatibility a deal breaker for you? So just all things to ponder, and if we get enough comments, we'll pull them up and read them next episode, and
Yeah.
we can chat all about them.
Yeah. So
Um,
please continue comments.
continue enjoying
please.
comments.
Verbal comments are great too.
Verbal, yeah. If you know us, come talk to us. If you have our number,
Absolutely.
call us, text us, whatever you decide.
Absolutely.
And,
Because so far I've gotten excuse me, one of my girlfriends, I ran into like her sister a couple weeks back. I think I mentioned this, and she was like, I've listened to your podcast. I'm like, oh really? And she's like an elderly person, right? She's like older, probably like 10 years older than me or so.
yeah.
And so she's like, it's great. And I'm like, really? You like it? She's like, yeah. She's like, keep going. She's like, I don't know where it'll take you, but she's like, keep going. And I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Like,
yeah.
it's nice to know that the demographics is not just your age group, my age group. It's like everybody. Because everyone's going through different phases and like this whole thing that we call life and love at the same time. So it's nice to know that everyone has had either similar experiences, and like I don't think a lot of people talk a lot about that, maybe not
No.
so much openly, and that's fine. You don't need to tell everybody your business, but at least we're trying to give some sort of insight about our own personal experiences, right? Or others that like vaguely that we talk loosely about, stories about. But
The things that we observe.
Yes.
It's just our little bubble in the world.
yes.
And so allow us to explore your bubble as well.
yes.
And broadcast it out to people. Because, I've had a couple people come up to me and they're like, wow, Nason, I saw your podcast. I really love it. And I go, ho. I have another podcast that talks about movies. And so I'm like, oh, that's great. Yeah, I like the movie podcast. It's great. And they go, no. Your other podcast. I go, oh, that podcast.
Everyone likes this side of Nason because the other side of Nason is so serious.
It's true.
Whereas I'm sure all the women are like, oh, this is really how you are.
Mhm,
Not to say that these women who are, all of a sudden trying to wiggle their way into Nason's life.
Well, it's kind of funny, right? Because this side of me is reserved for friends,
Yeah.
family,
That's the other side of you.
and acquaintances that know me better.
Yes.
But also people that will actually ask me questions.
Yes.
I tell people all the time, like people at work, whatever, they're always like, oh, Nason, you're so serious. And it's like, yes, but I will answer any question you ask me.
Yes.
Within reason, of course. Like if you ask me something wacko, I'm going to be like, no. Like I can't even, like if you're like, oh, can I look at your feet? I'm going to be like, how much are you going to pay me? But like something like that, sure. But I tell people all the time because they're like, oh, I know nothing about you. And it's like, well, I'll answer any question you ask me.
Yes.
You just have to ask the right question.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people go, oh, I don't know anything about you. I say that. And then they go, oh, interesting. And then they walk away. And I'm like, nothing came to your mind in that moment to ask me?
Yeah.
It's like, I know nothing about you. And it's like, you didn't think to ask me?
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of funny, and so it's always hilarious when they're like, "No, your other podcast."
Yeah.
And I go, "Oh, what do you think?" And they're like, "I love it.
Good.
I love it." They're like, make them longer. I like falling asleep to them.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Well, you know
Is
what,
it
people,
soothing?
different strokes for different folks, right? No, they're like, I like it when you get all serious and you're talking about your experience. And it's like, it kind of makes me laugh. And
Yeah.
I go, being serious and talking about a life instance makes you laugh. And they're
Right.
like, well, like, because you get a certain way about talking. It's just like, it's so relaxing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But you know what? I'm glad you like it. I hope
Yes.
you're watching it.
Yes.
And I hope you're having sweet dreams if you're listening to this while you sleep.
Oh my.
Yum.
On that note.
Have a
We'll
lovely
see.
night, everybody.
Yes.
We're losing daylight.
Yes, we are.
Have a lovely night.
Until the next podcast.
Yes. Enjoy yourselves and be safe and comment.
Yes.
And we'll see you soon.
Bye.